They called it a noble cause. We called it survival. From day one, we were handed bones and expected to remember what each one whispered. The clavicle smiled until we realized it was just the beginning of holding the weight of the world in our hands. Upper limb, lower limb, posterior view, medial rotation, innervation, insertions, and what comes after? A quiz, a sigh, and then another name to memorize. We lived between pages of Gray's Anatomy and nights that forgot how to end. Embryology mocked us, tiny buds becoming limbs, hearts looping before we could even trace our own purpose. Every lecture, he drew the embryo again and again and again, week after week. Now this is day 17. Now this is day 18. We watched a dot grow arms before we had the strength to raise ours. By the time it had a face, we had lost ours to confusion. Sometimes, I think that embryo grew faster than our GPA. We watched as cardiovascular systems spread like cities on fire. Every artery branching into confusion. We drew it, wrote it, forgot it, and drew it again. And there came physiology. It stretched us thinner than nerves. Homeostasis? We lost ours. We memorized what the heart does in milliseconds, while ours beat slow from fear, from fatigue. And then came osteology, where bones sat on the table like silent judges. No mercy, no clues, just a pin structure and a voice asking, identify this and state its attachments.
What?
You walked in prepared, but in the moment they said move, your brain packed its bags and left. You stared at the scapula like it was your ex you thought you'd forgotten. The answers hid in the corner of your skull, laughing quietly, while you stood there, wishing the pin would just unpin itself. Wasn't just bones. There were cadavers, cold, silent, unforgiving, that pinned a silver of muscle, barely visible, and asked,
Oh no.
what nerve surprised this? You'd squint, pray, hope the cadaver whispers the answer, but all you hear is your stomach growling louder than your confidence. Our backs cracked, not from lifting patience, but from hours hunched over slides and diagrams, chasing distinctions as if they could undo the fear of failure sitting quietly inside our chest. We ate in whispers, read in motion, and wore lab coats that had seen more stress than any one of us. We cried, not always loud, but often, in corners, in silence, in the spaces between you'll be fine and the results are out. And still, we showed up with our undone sleep and unfinished meals. We showed up to practicals, to histology slide that blurred our minds, where every cell wore the same face, but the question still asked, what tissue is this? We squinted through the lens as if staring harder would make the nucleus spell out the answer. We chose this, or maybe it chose us. Either way, we stayed, not because it was easy, but because healing, even in its hardest form, felt worth it.